So it's been about a year since Agentic AI really started getting implemented. And while a handful of companies are doing extremely well, I would say the majority of companies are not really getting that much value. And that's not surprising. Every new technology has its learning curve when implementing it. But today I want to go deeper into what we've actually learned this year from all of these deployments. So McKinsey has published some overarching lessons across 50 different projects they have ran this year. And I'll share some of my own lessons from the projects that I have been running as well. Now the first one is it's not about the agent, it's about the workflow. So McKinsey makes this pretty clear. A lot of companies are more distracted on tooling and the technology rather than just focusing on the business value and how it's going to affect your workflow. And this lines up with what we've seen as well. See, there's been reports out here, for instance, Nanda report that said that 95% of projects are failing. But there's some things we can do here. So how should we actually start this? See, McKinsey says is first, really identify what the pain points are in your workflow. You should really identify and map out your whole process and where agents can really fit inside there. So now they can be reducing unnecessary work, collaborating with people, and also just streamlining the process with overall efficiency. Now, one key principle that you need to be implementing is feedback loops. See, when you're deploying an AI agent, you really should have these internal feedback loops so that whenever a person does something, for instance, edit a document or button click, things of this nature, all of these changes should be brought back to the agent to improve itself. And so that way the system really learns from real life behavior so that then you don't have to manually codify everything going forward. Now I'm going to add on to this just a little bit. One additional thing that I always do is when we break down the workflows, it makes it a lot easier to quantify value. Instead of hand waving, hey, we improved overall efficiency, what we can do now is say by task, by business function, we have actually seen quantifiable value by X% or Y%. And then we can see an improvement over time based off the additional efficiency gain. Now they brought up another point, which is AI agents aren't always the answer. And this is very true. I've already made a detailed video about this considering workflows versus AI agents in production. But see, at the end of the day, a lot of the time, AI agents could just be a wasted investment. See, what McKinsey is really discussing here is sometimes you can just actually get away with very, very simple, workflows. And when we really break down these businesses, we have to really look at what do we actually need to do for each task? And then what does it take for an employee to actually go and do these individual pieces? Now, another advantage when we think about workflows is picking the right tools for each task. See, one step might require simple retrieval, another step might require multiple different kinds of steps, and you don't want to just box yourself into thinking about agents only. Now, what I always do is I always start with the simplest solution first, which would be essentially like a rules-based solution, and then you work your way upwards. But the point here is not getting stuck in this binary agents versus not. It's really pick the right tool for the right task. And a lot of these deployments, especially in production, it's really more of a spectrum rather than one or the other. So workflows will give you more clarity, agents give you more flexibility, and most enterprises kind of fit in a little bit of a spectrum. Now the last one is really just addressing AI slop in general, because it's really simple to, spin up a demo and kind of create an application around it, but it's really hard to make it robust enough to automatically run in these enterprise workflows. And in production, you just can't afford low quality outputs. And obviously, if users end up losing trust over the system, then you're not going to get any ROI in adoption. And so this is basically why evaluation tracking is so important. And as we mentioned before, obviously using employees to help improve the agent over time. Now, McKinsey talked about treating the AI agent as essentially a new employee. And this is very different from, traditional software development where you just buy something and it's ready to go. This, you actually have to train with it and be continuous about it over time. So just like an employee, you give them a clear role, you track their performance, you give them continuous feedback. So with my clients, I go a little further than that. I actually just tell them that this is a new college grad. They don't know anything. You need to train them a little bit more rigorously. But this is really where tracking and validation is super important, especially if you want to scale out the agent to multiple different business functions across multiple different users. Mistakes are just going to be bound to happen. And if you don't have systems in place to catch them early, have it improve its mistakes, then it'll obviously multiply over time. And so this is where employees are essential for supervision, ensuring it's being compliant, and things of this nature. Now, these are some of the main insights and takeaways that I got out of this, but feel free to check out the original one. I put it in the link in the description below. So anyways, thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next one.